Okay, welcome back to HQCo. This episode was probably the coolest one yet. We went on a little field trip to the operating room.
The OR.
Aldo, he's been on before. He's a neuro anesthesiologist. He is leading or partaking in kind of this long-term research project, and he brought in his VR headset that allowed us to simulate an intubation and just be in the room, and you'll see all of it as in the episode. But
It was awesome.
It was really cool. Obviously, both of us have no.
I mean, I had no idea. Even I didn't even use a VR before.
Yeah.
And it was just like you go in there and you know, it's wild. You hear everything.
Yeah.
And the AC running, whatever.
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it all. But it's really cool. It was really fun, and it's obviously it's a serious part of education and where he can implement this software and
he got a grant for it.
Yeah.
So
it was really cool, awesome. And I'm sure for most people watching, it'll kind of just be maybe funny to watch. And we talked a little bit after, and that was kind of some cool, genuine curiosity that whole process raised. But thank you for Aldo for bringing it in, and if you have any questions for him, I'm sure he'd be happy to ask.
Let us know. Absolutely.
As we were talking after, if anyone else has any kind of VR,
anything regarding it doesn't have to be in a medicine world. It could be anything else, right? Just let us know.
Yeah, it was cool. We hooked it up on TV.
Yeah.
Like I said, you'll see it, but really cool, really fun. And I think we did end up not killing everyone, so that was good at least. But hope you enjoy this episode. Subscribe.
Subscribe, like, and
let us know what you think.
Let us know. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Because we're kind of just starting now. Do a real quick, what is the goal that we're trying to do?
That's true. What I'm trying to do with this thing. So you guys know that I teach for medical students, and I teach for anesthesia residents, and more so medical students. So this software, it's supposed to expose you to what it is to be an anesthesiologist and what it is to be in the OR. The way I see it is it could help a lot to those medical students who have never been in the OR, never been in front of a patient, and all of a sudden, one day, there are medical students rotating with anesthesia, okay, here, intubate someone. It can be very daunting, right? And there's some techniques to try to pre-expose them to that, some simulations, but in the end, you're not in the OR.
Is there other ways? I'm sure, the CPR dummies.
Yeah.
There's obviously
there's dummies. There's a bunch of other things. The problem is they can be expensive, and they require a room, and they require a personnel. The cool thing about this is technically, I could just grab a student and say here, these are the instructions. Put it on, maybe not in those exact words, right? But put it on and play with it, right? And my theory, the hypothesis of the study that I'm about to start conducting, is to see if students who are exposed to this do a little bit better or feel a little bit more confident when they get to the OR compared to the ones who don't.
So this is are there other facilities or that this is used currently, or this is kind of brand new
in Canada that I'm aware of? Because there may be, but that I'm aware of, no one's using this. And who knows? And when you do research, you have to, at least the way I approach the research that I do, I don't know if this is going to be good. We might end up in 2 years when this study finishes and realize it sucked. It was really bad. Hopefully it won't. But it could be, right? So that I'm aware of in Canada, no one does this. In the United States, I know there's a few universities that are starting to use it. What some of the companies that do this kind of software, they claim it to be geared for residents. I don't like that. Not that I feel like it's bad, but between this and being in a simulation center that are, of course, way more expensive, but they also are more alive, right? You don't simulate with these things. You simulate with your hands. You're intubating with your hands. So I just feel like that definitely is always going to be better. But I see this as an opportunity for centers that are further away with very little resources, which we do have in Canada. They do exist, right? Medical students who have to do their practices far away up north. So if they have no other choice for simulation, this could be it.
Okay, let's try
So
it.
hypothetically, they can actually get this and take it home.
Yeah.
And
Or
just
have it at
practice,
the hospitals, right?
Or have it at the hospitals,
Yeah.
and just practice.
So just put it in on your melon, and then on the back there's like 2 straps. Let me help. Yeah, that you just pull to the sides, and that kind of like makes it a little bit tighter.
Okay.
And just so I'm gonna give you this with one hand, and this is the other, and you just have to turn to your right where it says.
I just see options right now.
Yeah.
Bluetooth.
Oh no! Turn to your right to see if you see something that says Simbana there. And
Oh,
it
yeah,
says Resume. So press on that. Okay, so it's a little bit turned to the side, but as long as you're not uncomfortable.
Can you see it? I'm fine. Can
Oh,
you
yeah,
see
we-
it?
we
on
can
the-
see it.
Okay.
Yeah, we
see
can
it.
see it. So
Okay.
what do you want to do? Do you want to try to do what I did?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah?
that's the one I've kind of looked.
Okay, so
at.
go just you're right exactly where you are. So you see begin to
Yeah.
your right. You're gonna press there. Oh, and to press is the trigger
Okay.
on your right hand, and yeah. So that's the information if you
switched
want to
it. There
read
we
it.
go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're doing this for the fun rather from the medical
Right,
expertise.
right.
Yeah. You might have to stand up. That's the only thing. We'll not let you. We will not let you fall.
You're right, bud?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I gotta go. I gotta move back.
Oh, you gotta move back. No, so don't move. You see this trigger here?
Yeah, there
That
we
will
go.
allow you to go back, and also if you move it to your side, so
There
if
we
you
go,
do
yeah,
this,
yeah.
And you play. You guys play video games, I'm sure. So don't. You could walk, but you could really hurt yourself, and I don't want that. So just use the trigger to move.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do I have to? Yeah, I should stand.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So the instructions are right to your in front of you. ETT intubation, which it stands for endotracheal tube intubation. So-
connect monitors. So what do I do?
So you see the monitor. Remember where that's in front of you. So walk a little bit further. Yeah. And you can, for example, start with a BP cuff. So get a little bit closer. And once it turns blue, there you go. You grab it with both the triggers behind your right hand. There you go. And then you put it where it gets blue. There you go. And then you have to grab
This one?
no, to your left a little
Left,
bit,
all
where it
those,
says
like-
patient monitor. Go up, and it's that one, non-invasive blood pressure. There you go. You're taking a blood pressure now. Then below that, that's the oxygen saturation monitor.
This one?
The one to your left.
Left.
Oh,
That's
it will
okay,
it will
it'll come
respawn.
back.
Don't worry. Oh, there you go. It's
Got
there.
it.
Yeah. There you go. And you probably can walk a little bit further too. Well, not walk. Use your trigger.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Just so you don't trip. Right. There you go. And then the left.
Down here.
Yeah. To the side. I think you got it. Yeah. And you can see your monitor. So now you have an ECG. You
So
have
should I turn this CO2 on?
the O2 on. The green one, you're going to kind of like put your hand on top of it, close your grip, and bring it up to 6 to 10. There you go. Yeah, so you have to let it go and turn it, and yeah. The idea is for it to, it's supposed to be intuitive.
Now,
You have to pre-oxygenate a patient. So the mask is to the right of the head of the patient. So you grab it from there and just stick it on top. And usually what I found is you have to take the blood pressure again before it. So the NV, use your trigger to move over. There you go. Just kind of like touch it a little bit further. There you go. So see, so you're completed that.
okay.
And now you
First
have to
step
go get your
complete.
meds. So use your There you go. And walk. You're going to open the first drawer. And you're going to kind of like point down and grab propofol. And then it's to your right.
Was that?
Oh, you grab fentanyl. That's fine. We're going to need it too.
Oops, sorry.
It's all good. Oh, no, that's the microphone.
And
And then propofol. Unless you want to use ketamine. Oh, you're grabbing more fentanyl. That's fine. Grab something else just for the kick. You can grab ketamine if you want.
where is it?
There you go. Let's throw everything over. There you go. And now you're going to close that drawer and open the second one and grab rocuronium, the red one. There you go. That's the one. And just out of making sure that, you can close it and bring it all over. I'm sure he should fall asleep with that. So put it on top of your first tray. And now what that thing is asking you to do is for you to put the patient under. So you're going to grab the fentanyl, the blue syringe that you grabbed. That's the opioid. So that's for pain. I know that's tricky too. There you go. You're going to stick it to the IV, and then you have to let it go, and then close your fist. There you go. And you're going to give 5 milliliters. So you're going to give a lot of fentanyl. Because we want to make sure that this patient does not feel pain at all.
He's still a little bit awake.
He's still awake right now, right?
He's blinking.
Yeah. So he's fine, but he's about to start feeling a little bit. Whenever I'm giving fentanyl, if it feels appropriate, because some people may not find it appropriate.
Sufficient?
Yeah. So grab it kind of like full fist, and what I do to make sure it comes out is I kind of like pull on it or tug on it. So when it's blue, close your fist and then pull. There you go. Mm-hmm. And then grab now the ketamine. Yeah. There you go. So ketamine is what's going to make him fall asleep, and you're going to give him the whole thing. That's going to be like 100 milligrams of ketamine.
So in the operating room, it's the same.
It's very similar. Yeah,
very
the
similar.
vibe while you're in this BR set, it definitely feels good. Oh, it's right there. His CO2 always. Yeah, that's all good. You can take that ketamine out.
Now this one?
And grab the rock, because you're going to have to give it soon. And you can connect it. He hasn't really fallen asleep, so we might be relaxing someone who shouldn't be relaxed, but we'll see. I might be steering you wrong right now. What we're going to do, because he is still awake, take that syringe out, and you're going to turn on the sevoflurane. So take that syringe off and turn to the anesthesia machine. And you see that yellow thing that says sevoflurane?
No. Oh, this?
Yeah. On the very top, you're going to open it. Keep the flow, open it until it says 4%. Whoops.
No,
here we go.
This guy. Now what?
Well, we're still waiting for him to fall asleep.
Should I go give him more?
Yeah, grab your tray and go back to the medications and grab a propofol from the very top, because
he's still good. He's still awake.
Yeah, he's still very
he's
much
still
awake.
kicking.
What is this?
A propofol, the middle one. And what I would do is grab the syringe and just run back. You don't even. Oh, it's fine.
Come on.
Grab it.
You bring it over, yeah. Because
maybe
now he's fully
sleeping.
relaxed.
Oh, is he sleeping now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he might be sleeping.
Yeah, and you already relaxed him.
Oh, you already completed everything.
Airway, now
Okay, so take the mask off of him. There you go. Now open his mouth. So you're going to put both of your hands around his kind of like jaw. There you go. Now he's open. Now you're going to grab your laryngoscope, which is the big screen, and stick it in his mouth. There you go. Now turn around and grab the tube and do the same. And bring it down to 19. There you go. And now grab that's fine. Grab the syringe from the tray and put it to the side where the cuff and inflate it, and then just take it out, yank it out. Oh.
Because I let go of it, right?
No, I think it's the timing thing again. It's just very specific. But I don't feel bad because
That's a lot. That's a lot of timing.
It's
fast.
It is fast,
Yeah, it's
and it
very
should be fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing this again.
You're doing it again, okay. And now you feel more confident of what you're doing, right? So move a little bit closer with the. There you go. Good job. No, like you got where I got.
Yeah.
And I see you lost a lot of time because I had you taken.
Now he already
ketamine.
knows that. He already knows.
Yeah. Now you're gonna be super fast. See, you could do my job tomorrow.
Turn this on, or not yet?
Do it to the end because it always it makes you do it twice for some reason. There you go. Excellent.
So in this case right now, what he's doing, he's just prepping the patient right now.
So this
Right?
is monitoring. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
monitoring.
he's just
Yeah, you can turn it
monitoring.
on, and you can put the mask on him.
Nothing will happen to the patient right
No.
now.
No, here is just the make.
Medication, CO2.
Bring your oxygen levels or oxygen flow higher
6.
to 6 or 10. Yeah. So all of this is the base before we actually put someone under.
Yeah.
And it's all safety things that we have to do, right?
Right.
Without monitoring, we should not be starting, in this very case, any kind of anesthetic. Yeah, propofol, fentanyl, and then you're gonna grab the rock. But this exactly now he's feeling a little bit more
Comfortable.
confident,
Right.
more comfortable. And again, I don't know yet, but my hopes is by having one of our students who is about to go into the OR,
Yeah.
feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Give this to this guy.
Now read the instructions because I don't remember what's next. It says yeah. So fentanyl first, the whole thing. The blue one. There you go. The whole thing. So again, fentanyl is for pain, right? So usually we give the.
Do you
pain
usually
medication.
start with like always fentanyl?
Most times we'll always start with the opioid, with
Yeah.
the medication that is meant to prevent pain.
Is
Because-
there anything else rather than fentanyl that you could use?
Yes and no. Now propofol. Yeah. We have other versions of opioids. So there's sufentanil, for example, which is more potent, meaning you need less micrograms, less dose to achieve the same potency, or others than all of it. That's 200 milligrams of propofol. But yeah, it's to avoid pain while intubating. Propofol will make someone fall asleep, which is the difference. Yeah, because he's gonna fall asleep faster, and that's why it was tricky last time because I made you use ketamine, which I was being playful, but now we mean business. In a serious world, I would wait until you push that. Oh, there you go. No, you got it. You got it. Now you push it. Push it. Yeah, good.
Wait till he falls asleep to push it.
Yes, exactly. So you never want to relax someone before they're asleep because if they start feeling relaxed, that's like torture to them, also, right? They will not be able to move or breathe,
Yeah.
and it's gonna. So we never want to do that. Now take the mask off of. Well, because what we're waiting there for him is for him to.
Neuromuscular.
Yeah, but instead of wasting time, just take the mask off. I would say. And start opening his mouth. Let's see if you can open his mouth. Oh, so he's still there. You go. Grab your laryngoscope. I just wanted you to make sure you're successful. Is it not letting you? Oh, so wait a little bit. You've already given. That's why it's so bothersome. You see?
Do I have to do this thing?
No, you don't have to. It should just.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Now grab your laryngoscope. There you go. Stick it in. Bring the tube. And again, 1920. Yeah, that should be fine. The cuff is the syringe. Yeah. We call it cuff inflator. Inflate it, and without releasing the triggers, jank it out. So that's leaving it inflated. Take the laryngoscope out. And then grab the circuit, the mask, and you're gonna with one hand grab the circuit and with the other one the mask and yank it off. So, no, the green mask. Yeah, and pull it. There you go. And now this, your right hand connected to the tube. Yeah, yeah. Let go a little bit. Oh, no. You're almost there. You're almost there. Grab the circuit. Don't worry about that part. And yeah, you were super close. It's weird because it needs to connect, but you're doing really great.
I mean, it was like almost glitching. He was right there. It's
you
like,
failed not because of you, but because of the little tricky, the little tricky things that this thing has. You want to do it, Edith?
Yeah.
No pressure.
Oh, that's fine. I'll do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay. So you can just take it off and you can pass it on. Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot. How did you feel? Good. The second time it was a little bit more kind of natural, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's difficult to explain it, but with the circuit, because you have two triggers, one on this, you have to release one and then the other. Because I don't know if you noticed with the circuit, you had your thumb kind of like occluding the very tip. So with the yeah. So you needed to de-occlude your thumb and then connect it and then let it go. But so you turn to your right a little bit. It is. It's not showing up, eh? Press the right. There you go.
Oh,
You see
okay,
where it says
right here.
resume? Yeah.
I don't know where I'm at.
Did it show up?
Nope.
No. I'll press it again. Oh, it's because I think it's this meta thing has everything set up for you to be in the same area where you started.
Oh,
Can you guys trade places and see if it shows up?
Oh, yeah, I see the circle right there.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's why.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it actually might be good because that way you're the thing what we see the most. So on your left, this trigger here, that's what you can use to go back and forth
Okay, I
or
see.
turn around.
I understand.
Yeah,
How do I
and
point there? You try.
so go
Get
closer to
closer.
it. Use your there you go. Keep going, and just smack it. Yeah, keep going a little bit further. Yeah,
There we go.
there you go.
All right, here we go.
Ah. Excellent. So it's the same thing. You can press X to that thing. I don't know why it's showing up. There you go. So you're needing to monitor your patient again.
Alright, so we're gonna go grab this guy.
Oh, it looks like you already kind of like got it. There you go.
This is intense.
It think of this very first part. It should be the stressful part. Is once they're asleep, that's when you have to really, really worry. Right now, nothing of what you're doing could kill him.
He's like,
I had to think about it, but no. Use both of the triggers. One of that's on top. Yeah, there you go.
Alright.
And now
Yes.
take the blood pressure. So go to the monitor. Yeah. Exactly. There. And now you're gonna put the mask on top of it. You have to grab it from the white part, which is kind of like there you go. We call it the elbow.
There he is.
There you go. And now look at your
Alright.
monitor. We just want to make sure that your blood pressure actually pops up. And once once it's there, then that means you're good to go.
Alright.
There you go.
Oxygen.
Yeah. And we're going to bring it to 6 or 6 to 10. And then look at the screen just to make sure it's actually. It looked like it didn't really accept it. Take the blood pressure again because that's one of the glitches of this thing. There you go. Now you can go get your drugs.
How do I turn around?
With the same, the one with
The
your
other
move?
stick.
Yeah, yeah. If you just kind of like press it to one side.
The right
The
joystick.
right joystick? No, it's the left. This one? Oh, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, there you go. With the right joystick.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so there's other opiates you were asking about, like if there's so there's sufentanil there or fentanyl, but you can just use fentanyl and propofol.
Just poke it.
Yeah. There you go.
And then we're taking the
Fentanyl. That should be fine. Yeah. And then you're gonna close that drawer.
Is there other combinations that are adequate as well, or is it like
The most common one is propofol, lidocaine, propofol, fentanyl. I do use the fentanyl a few, like for specific situations.
joystick?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go. You just put it on the that other tray. Perfect. And you can grab your fentanyl. Yeah, that's tricky. So kind of like get closer. It has to turn kind of like blue.
Come on.
Move your body closer, like
Yeah, to the tray, exactly. And go a little bit lower. Closer to the... There you go. There you go. And now it should stick into the IV easily. And just kind of like press on the whole thing. Yeah, there you go. We're going to give him 5... The whole syringe. Makes
The
it
whole
easier.
syringe.
Yeah.
Do they automatically come like that? The syringes?
No, I have to. We have. This is one, for example. Like it does simulate. This thing simulates it very little. But one of the tasks that sometimes we let med students do in our rooms is load the drugs. So here you can.
is it all in?
Yeah,
Now,
it's
now,
all in.
now
No.
bring your hand back when you have it in.
You like close your all the triggers and then kind of like yank it.
More.
There you go. It's hard. It can be hard. Move a little bit forward. There you go. And inject the whole thing as well. Awesome. Keep going, keep going.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Even the sound, you can hear everything.
You can hear everything. You can hear the alarms. When you're ventilating, you can hear the ventilator running. Yeah, and let's relax him. I don't care. I usually do care, of course. But here,
wait for his eyes. Like he's
officially, we
there,
would
yeah.
want him to be fully asleep,
And
which
that's-
he already is.
And the only way is it you measure his sleep by any other ways other than just his eyes closing?
You could. We have some ways of measuring the depth of anesthesia, like making sure that someone
All right, what was
waves.
next?
So we are waiting for him to relax, but it takes time. So while you do that, what we did with Ian, take the circuit off of him. So the elbow, the white stuff of the mask, you're gonna pull it out. So it will go more to the corner where there's a white thingy and closer to the
Higher.
mask. Higher, closer to the face.
This
There, that one. Yeah, pull it out and just put it to the side. If it falls, it will respawn, so don't worry. Try to open his mouth. So with both hands, there you go, and you see that, just kind of like close your grips and
Other
turn
way.
your hands. Move them, kind of like close them and move them forward like this. There you go. A little bit more. And that should be enough, I think.
Is that good?
Yeah. Try to open it. So there you go. That's good. So now grab the the laryngoscope, the screen. Move a little bit forward with your trigger.
Come on.
There you go. Grab it and stick it in. You see it's so fast.
Yeah.
And now bring the tube. And also stick it in. And bring it down to 19, 20. There you go. Yeah. And now inflate the cuff.
This is the one you can't.
It's really
don't-
hard.
Don't let go of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Inflate it. And there you go.
Now what?
Now grab the laryngoscope and take it out. And then disconnect the mask from the elbow. So the white thing from the green thing.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. This is hard. This is hard. It almost makes me want to try it just to see if I can actually do it.
Okay, do it.
Should I try to make it work?
Yes.
Let's see, because see, I'm failing.
Is there anything after this that we will be trying to do?
Not really, because so the other scenarios that we could be running realistically are very similar, rather than the method of, or not the method, but the circumstance that comes after. So instead of putting a tube, we would be pulling an LMA, which potentially could be maybe easier, and maybe I'm just making you suffer. But you know what? Let's actually try that. Why don't, and so you can see something going successfully.
Do you want to switch spots with me, or do you want?
I think I should be okay. Let's see. No, I think it should be good. I'm just gonna stand up here.
Yeah, I got this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here.
But you know what? What I'm going to do? Let's
What I'm
just-
gonna do.
What he's gonna do is he brings in a whole other
mode.
team.
He's gonna put it on easy mode.
I'm gonna do, instead of intubating, we're gonna do something that's called a supraglottic airway placement, which is something we call an LMA, which might make it a little bit easier, not only for you guys but for me. It might achieve for us to finally be successful at something. So it begins pretty much the same. We're going to monitor the patient. And
That's pretty much standard. That's always
we always
monitor.
monitor the patient. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you, now you can see that my job is kind of very repetitive in many factors. The monitoring is a rule. Like we have to monitor the patient on every single surgery. So now we've monitored. We have the blood pressure running, and I'm gonna start also giving a little bit more oxygen here. So I just want to show you what's going to look different from what we're doing compared to now. You see this little guy here?
Yeah.
This is called a laryngeal mask. So this is another way that we can use to ventilate someone. This little part over here sits in the pharynx all the way down to your throat.
Oh.
This tip closes the esophagus, or that's the idea at least, and this part faces the airway, faces your windpipe. And then when we connect it to the circuit, we also breathe for you. It's very useful for many kind of surgeries, but there's also a lot of situations in which we cannot use it. For example, if someone's, no, I don't want morphine. If someone has a full stomach, meaning someone needs emergency surgery and they just ate something,
Yeah.
we cannot use that because food could go up the stomach, the esophagus. And I'm going to use succinylcholine, which is not a common thing. Succinylcholine is another kind of muscle relaxant, but it's faster. So I'm going to see if that also helps with us being successful. Oh, no, I didn't bring fentanyl, sorry. So anyways, just so you know what we're going to be doing this time around. Oh, I grabbed 2 lidocaines. I thought I grabbed fentanyl. There you go. Okay. So, patient monitored. So we're gonna put him under. I'm gonna grab fentanyl. Drop it to the floor. Sorry. I'm sure I could have collected it, but in work we would never do that. So I'm gonna give him a bunch of fentanyl. We're gonna give him 200 of fentanyl, which is...
Would you be the only person right now in here in the real world?
Yes and no. Like, there's many circumstances where I'm alone. I work in an academic center. I work in a hospital where I have a lot of learners from many type of things. So I'm usually never alone. And on the other hand, this scenario that we have going on right now, it's very unrealistic from personnel perspective. Meaning there's always at least a nurse with you, and usually there should always be a surgeon around in case there's an emergency. So I should never be putting someone under without the surgeon who's about to operate on them around, right? So I'm putting this patient under. If you notice, compared to the last patient that we did, here it's not asking us to relax a patient. So I'm not going to relax him. For this kind of devices, sometimes we don't have to do that. So I'm not even going to do that. So I'm gonna open his jaw, sorry, and literally just put a little bit of jelly. I don't know if you noticed that, but that's jelly, and stick it in. And so it's there now. Now I'm going to inflate it. That's it. Now I take this off. This is sometimes the hardest part. There you go. And you saw like how I left my index first?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to start the ventilator, and then it's going to ask me to make sure that I can hear the patient breathe. So I look down and grab my stethoscope, and I listen to it. He's coughing, so that's why that's happening, but I'm supposed to be making sure that I can hear breathing sounds. Push each one of the, you cannot get to it. There you go, I listen to it. And now I ventilated, and I'm sure that now he's being, that I'm breathing for him with this.
Mm-hmm.
You can still see his vital signs. I'm gonna turn on some air, because giving oxygen 100% all the time to someone is usually not ideal. So I'm gonna bring you.
So you turn it down.
Does
okay.
less oxygen mean less?
Oxygen and a little bit more air. So instead of giving him 100% oxygen, you know,
Will that drop his CO2 levels?
No. We usually breathe. So I close his eyes, and I have to secure the with tape. So you notice I put tape in his eyes, taped in the LMA, and now I'm done. Yeah, that was easier. But anyways, so his CO2 is actually a little bit high. So if we want to modify that, we come to the anesthesia machine, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And you see I'm ventilating him 400 milliliters, 10 breathings per minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I can bring this up a little bit. Let's bring it to 16. So
And
I'm going
that'll-
to start breathing for him faster. And the faster we breathe, the more CO2 that we exhale. So we're going to make sure that this drops down a little bit. But his sats are 100%. So it sounds funny, but oxygen does not necessarily, like CO2 going higher doesn't necessarily mean that you're desatting. You can have your body full of oxygen and still have a really high level of CO2. But you see how we were at 47?
Yeah.
And now we're 45, 44. So by me breathing faster for him, I'm making sure that this drops down and making sure that
And that's just clearing CO2 from
Exactly.
his system?
And it's going through that little guy
That little
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
right
yeah.
there, yeah.
and being taken off. And that's it.
Wow.
I just did my job.
Wow.
And then he would be having surgery.
Easy. Off to the gym you go.
There you go. Yeah.
This
Up to showtime.
This is not actually realistically how fast it goes, though, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
This is literally how fast it goes,
for
and
an
then that's
LMA,
it.
Yes. For an LMA, it could be really.
So
really
that
fast.
wasn't even like 10 minutes?
Yeah, there's procedures. For example, let me think of a good.
Here,
example.
I'm going to try that
You
other one
want to try that
again.
one? Here.
I want to try the other one again.
Just
The harder one?
You think I won't get it?
I, if you want to, I feel like
Just
you would-
leave that to him overnight. He'll be here till tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you try this one so you
Okay,
feel
fine,
the,
teacher.
the success of? Because if you notice, there's less steps and
Yeah.
it makes it just easier. I put them to your side. I think. Do you have them on the correct side? I'm not sure.
No, I don't.
No, they might feel. If they feel off, then they're not on the correct side. Now, if you don't see anything.
I have this. I think
Yeah.
I can create. There we go.
Oh, there you go. You know how to use it more than I do now. So just press retry. You're going to have to move closer. Yeah. Did you notice where the stethoscope is? It's you have to kind of like look to your chest and then yeah, and it's hanging there.
All right. Look at this guy.
But yeah, for if I'm thinking of cystoscopy, urology procedures that usually take 20 minutes, or many of them take 20 minutes. Many times we use an LMA, this kind of device, because it's going to be a fast thing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that sometimes they expect from us, more so if the patient is healthy, is for us to be quick. So we many times can put a patient under within 5 minutes, and then surgery, and then this
thing?
yeah,
Or not yet?
and take the blood pressure. Yeah, you can put it on. Nothing bad's gonna happen, but take the blood pressure there. There you go. And now go get your
First step
meds.
complete.
Oh yeah, bring your oxygen up a little bit, just so you're pre-oxygenating appropriately. Yeah, that's fine. And you just need
fentanyl.
propofol and fentanyl. Yeah. You can keep it simple. That's all you need.
Yeah, so you said you have to prep the syringes prior.
Yeah. So we have to draw all of our drugs. And here we're doing it very simple. Fentanyl first. And I'm sure with this scenario, you could just give propofol and the sim would allow it.
Is it always the same amount, or does it vary?
It varies.
Yeah.
Depending on how painful a procedure is. For example, putting an LMA,
Yeah.
it's not as painful. Sometimes it can be like not painful at all compared to an intubation. So if we're intubating, you always should use fentanyl or use an opioid. For LMAs, if the procedure is not going to be painful, sometimes you could go without. For instance, we don't do it very often, but if someone has to have an MRI study, an imaging study under general anesthesia because they're claustrophobic, they shouldn't be in pain. The procedure itself, the imaging itself is not going to be painful. So many times we put them under with just propofol, put an LMA in, and then go bring them in.
Take this thing off.
And now,
over here.
no, nothing over there.
Just waiting for it to kick
Just
in.
waiting for the patient to fall asleep. As soon as he falls asleep, you're gonna take that mask off of him. There. And then open his mouth. As big as you can. There you go. Now you see the jelly, the envelope thingy? You're gonna put it on, you're gonna hear it click. There you go. Now grab the LMA. Stick it in. There you go, that's it. Bring the syringe to inflate. Inflate it. No, that one. Over there. Oh, you're going to have to kneel.
Grab it.
Oh, it
Responding.
responds. There you go. There you go. Inflate. There you go, take it off. And then connect the circuit. And remember, so from the white part with your right. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Good job. Release your index finger. There you go. Connect it. There you go. And then start the ventilator. Something's missing. Are we sure we inflated? Oh, breath sounds. Yeah. Okay. So you have to go one by one, and you have to listen to the movement. There you go. Go to the second one. Go to the next one. And then spot 4.
I shouldn't hear any breathing in the stomach, right?
No, exactly. Did it tell you it was fine? Because I feel like it's not working. Turn on to the
Do I let go of these things?
Yeah, let go. And I would start the ventilator. So turn to the anesthesia machine. I think you're gonna turn it off. Yeah, that was it. The ventilator didn't turn on when I thought it was on.
So I have to pump. I didn't turn it on.
No, I thought you had because you kind of like touched it. And so that was the only thing because and that's why you couldn't hear breath sounds.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah, I thought you had.
Heart pumping.
Yeah, you from the
Okay,
nervousness.
wait, don't tell me this. This is last try.
Okay, you got
Last try, we don't tell him anything.
We're just watching. We're commenting. His amazing skills as a anesthesiologist.
So yeah, the study, this will be then pretty much part of your study that you're going to conduct.
Yeah. So the idea, we have to, I cannot force anyone to do this. So students have to pretty much see what I offer. And if they want to do it, they can. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. In many studies like this, the only way for me to compare it to what we do is to have controls and to have a research bodies.
How did you come up with the study?
So someone from work had gone to a conference in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, and they were the brand that that carries this software was there, and he really liked it. He came back.
I forget.
Fentanyl.
The fentanyl first. And you just have to do like
You said no talking, man. We're not supposed to tell you anything.
And anyway, so this colleague told me like, hey, this is really cool. I don't really, he doesn't really does this, but I do, right? I do teaching for medical students particularly. So I tried it, I liked it, and that's when I had two extremely good medical students who are now about to start their journey to residency, etc. But they helped me put this work together, and we finally got approved last year. Well, no, this year, sorry. And that's why it's just going live. But it was a year's worth of work.
It was a year's worth of work.
Putting everything together, so the research bodies that pretty much make sure that you're doing appropriate research said like, okay, now you can go ahead. And so yeah, we're about to go live.
So did you have like a presentation to them, or what? How is that whole process?
No, so every university or any place that does research has a group, a committee, if you will, that you have to present. Like this is the proposal, this is the research project, and this is what we want to do, and this is what we want to learn, and everything has to be very specifically put together in a way that it looks like it's going to be successful.
Now this one?
Yeah, now inflated. Successful not meaning that you're going to prove what you're trying to prove, rather than that you're not biased. Yeah, there you go. Take it off. And now connect the circuit. So you have to disconnect the mask, remember? And I think your patient is desetting, so yeah. Connect it and start the ventilator. There you go. So now you're breathing for him. He's not going to die. Do you hear anything?
When do you start?
So officially, we're hoping maybe this coming Monday, but it depends a lot.
I see him breathing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I hear him breathing, though.
I think the volume might be a little bit too low, but you should be hearing something. Yeah, just one more. There you go. And you got the click. So now you have to protect his eyes. So grab the tape. And then go to there you go. And now set 1 Mac. So that is the sevoflurane, the yellow vaporizer to the right, yeah? And you're gonna bring it up to 2%. 2.4. There you go. And now you look into your, you're done.
There you go. Completed.
You completed it. You have someone ready for surgery. Good job. Yeah.
There you go. So if you ever need anyone to hop
I'll
on,
come grab Ian.
just grab it. Yeah.
There you go. How did it feel?
Good.
Yeah?
I'm ready for work.
See, if you tomorrow were to be in my area of work, you'd be like, oh, I've seen that before. I know what that feels like. And there's other scenarios where there's a nurse, which it's not a person. They chose to make this
no, I'm good.
phantom thing. But yeah, it's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So could hypothetically I get that and get this?
Yes, but it's actually very expensive. The software, and if they see this, they might be like, hey, but it's true. It's very, very expensive because coming up with, it's like a video game, right?
Right.
And I'm not I'm a gamer. I like playing video games, but I don't necessarily know the cost of things, right?
Yeah.
But this company charges a lot to use their software, and I have no other point of reference to know, like, hey, don't charge me that much, right? On the other hand, I cannot pay this from my own pocket because why would I?
Yeah.
Right.
But that's why it's important for us. I never claim myself as a researcher because I don't do clinical research. I don't put patients into studies, but us researchers, we shouldn't be spending our own money into our research.
Yeah, of course.
That's why it's important for me, for us, and the students that are with me, to get these grants, because that's what's funding this project right now, right? But it is expensive.
Yeah.
They are charging us very little, quote unquote, compared to a university or the universities that exist out there that use their software constantly, because in the end they haven't gotten into the Canadian market yet. So I think they do see us as like, oh, these might be our gateway into Canada.
Yeah.
My thoughts behind it is like, we'll see. If it works really well, and if we demonstrate with this study that there's benefit, that we might see, right? And again, it's not my money; it would be a university's money.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe at the end, my students will be like, "Yeah, no, it didn't really do much for me," and that's.
How long will it be? You said 2 years?
We're hoping for 1 year, but the reality, I was really hoping that I would send email, because the only way to contact students to say like, hey, do you want to come and do this, is email. And we have a body of like this, the amount of students that we could recruit this year is 174. And my mom's like, oh, they're going to see BR and they're going to be like saying yes, all of them. They are. Like, they're tired, they're busy, they have their, like, not all of them want to do anesthesia, for example. So thinking that they have so few right now signed up makes me think that I'm going to have to run for 2, maybe 3 years.
Just to get the numbers?
Yeah, because let's say if my body of study is 174 students, but I only get, I don't know, a quarter of them to actually sign up, it's too little for it to be what we call statistically
adequate,
powerful, significant.
So what other, like, what other fields would have to be familiar with this process? Everyone, and then just they don't ever see it past a certain stage of their educational career? Or
like they argue, the people who are making the software, who in the end are not researchers, right? They're a company who are making
they say
software.
Everyone should be familiar with it.
What the way they want to sell it is like residents, like people who are in training to become an anesthesiologist should be using the software. I just cannot, like, in good conscience say like, yeah, let's try that.
Yeah.
Just because I know that at least here and in many centers that have a good simulations places, this just does not compare.
Yeah.
You just can't know. There's things that you know, right? I don't have to put it through research to know it.
So what would be the, like, if this is kind of the rudimentary training tool, what's the premier?
I will give you
training?
like, for instances in which I think this would be really great. Again, for medical students who are interested in seeing this scenario before being like thrown into the wolves, I think that's great for them. People who are far away for simulation centers. So let's say there's a university up in Northern Ontario that just does not have an expensive simulation center. Give them.
So what's an expensive simulation center? Is that like a dummies real room
who ouch and growl, and you have to intubate, and actually if you have to give them quote unquote medications for them to fall asleep. You have a monitor. You have people. So in the simulation centers that we have, for example, it's a room.
Yeah.
With an anesthesia machine, with a surgical bed, with a dummy that resembles a real patient that bleeds.
So what percentage of facilities have that? Most?
That's I would say most.
Yeah.
I would dare to say most, and at least in North America.
And then even, I know this may be going off track, but how often do you personally go back into those simulation rooms? Never really? Like once you've hands-on, it's...
Yeah.
It's
like I don't need, and this sounds a little bit cocky, but it's true. I don't need to do this again.
Yeah.
Like I do this for a living every single day. I don't know, between 2 at least to 10 times.
But it's not like there's new, probably not. I mean, there's new.
No, but that's a fair question. If tomorrow, for example, there's a new technique, because it will happen. Technology always comes into something that I've never used. That's the day.
Yeah.
Right. That's the day where.
But those don't happen often.
They don't happen too often, but it does happen,
Yeah.
and it depends on what the technology is.
So I got what's it take for us to get into one of those rooms?
Oh, that would be a very, very difficult.
Obviously, I'm sure, but
because the reality is, I don't do simulation. I don't teach simulation. Not that I'm not interested, but there's people who do it, and I do too many things already to think now I'm going to do that. Never say never. Never say never.
How long did you spend in those simulation rooms?
Well,
roughly,
that's
give or take.
because as you probably remember, I'm originally from Mexico, so I come from a very privileged education in Mexico in the sense of where I did residency. I trained my residency in the most expensive private hospital of Mexico in the country. So we had an amazing simulation center. So all of those things that I'm describing right now that we have here in London, and we probably will see them in Toronto and you'll see them in Hamilton, all those universities, I had it. So I simulated at least twice a month as a resident.
But that's another good point. It's like not even like, I won't say like third world countries per se, but like other countries that don't have that. This is like
if you think of Mexico, I don't know about the U.S. I would dare to say there might be some universities in the U.S. that don't have the best simulation. I would dare to say that, even though I'm not certain. But Mexico for sure. If you compare definitely my training as a resident, as an anesthesiologist, and where I trained compared to other centers where there was no simulation, mine was definitely, from that perspective, was better.
So what do those people do?
Just have a lot of patience, because you have to think. That's
your simulation.
That is like you go do it.
You just watch someone do it, and then you're like, okay, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah. So does it work? Yes, absolutely. Like the numbers, one after the other.
Yeah.
But is it safe? Maybe not so much, because I got to like in this simulation scenarios, you can make the dummy have a very difficult airway. You can modify those things in their anatomy so that you're really, and you're like, what do I do? And bring this device, etc. And they have to live it, right?
Yeah.
So when I was faced, and it did I have so many stories, but I remember many simulated cases that'd be like, oh, that's never gonna happen to me, and then it did.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so thankful that I got to do it first.
And this is like intubating someone's. Not only anesthesiologists have that skill set.
No, emergency docs, for example.
Okay.
ICU doctors.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a few.
But not most, not the most. Majority of people.
No. Yeah. But everyone, and this is a belief of mine, every physician, maybe there's some that will be like, okay, maybe not them, but most physicians should have at least the basic knowledge on how to either ventilate someone or how to provide airway support.
And that's all assuming that the room and or equipment is there.
Exactly. So for example, if you tell me like a pathologist, someone who's they're great doctors, we need them, but who is 20 years in their career, and they're walking down the mall and someone collapses, I wouldn't be like, oh, they should know how to intubate. Like, maybe not. Right?
But okay, so so the next thing I was going to ask is like, what's the most, how, if you're out in public, if you're out tomorrow and see someone at the mall, and essentially if you're going to intubate them, that means they need help breathing?
Yes. And to be fair, like if that were to be the scenario, there's other things that you do first in terms of like CPR than just like intubating is usually not the first thing that you're thinking about. You have to do compressions.
But for glamour's sake, you have to intubate someone in the mall.
Like if I was in the mall and there was a need of an intubation, I'd be like, I do it.
But how would you intubate them without any?
If the equipment is there, of course, right?
Is that like what about like grabbing a pen, stabbing it through their chest?
Well, that's way different.
Is that even anything? That's just relieving.
Yeah, that's way more. If someone collapses and they need CPR, and like the last thing you're gonna think is about putting a pen.
I know. I watch movies.
Yeah. No, but I get the question. But those are very specific to situations in which they are, for example, choking.
Yeah.
So that's more about
and
that.
The airway is blocked and they can't.
Exactly.
So in what situation at the mall, like do first aid kits or certain kits at places have intubation kits in them?
Most public places, and I'm thinking more like malls, etc., they wouldn't have things for intubation. They might have first aid kits that could potentially have some airway support.
And then you're not going to have a machine. You're going to have to hand pump it the whole time?
Yeah. So if they were to be like a first aid that had like something to help someone breathe, it wouldn't be an anesthesia machine or a ventilator. It would be something called an ambu bag. And we call it ambu bag because that's a brand, but that's how everyone call it. It's something that's connected to a mask, and you have to use your
So
your
what
hand.
makes it the most painful? Just 100% discord. Pushing through your your vocal cords.
That's very, very painful. And also, if you're using the laryngoscope, which is like the metal thing, your throat is
active.
It's active and it's full of nerve terminals. So if you're not sedated and under heavy pain medication, it's going to be really, really painful. So you never want to do that.
Have you ever had to intubate someone in a because obviously most situations you have are like as controlled as it can be.
I've had to ventilate people. I don't remember if the last time I was here we talked about this or not, but when I did the half marathon in Toronto, I had to ventilate someone there.
So ventilate someone there means...
It's more like the mask. Do you see them? Do you remember the mask that we were putting on this? We didn't ventilate in these scenarios, but I would hold that mask into their face and use the bag that is hanging.
To breathe for them?
Yeah. So that I've done once. Hopefully never again.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
So those are the skills that can sometimes be convenient. But the reality is intubation or airway management is not as handy or as needed as CPR.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
Or as for example. And I do believe it should be a little bit of public knowledge how to use, for example, a defibrillator. I don't know if you've seen in malls, there's a signage on where to go and grab the defibrillator. And these are automatic defibrillators. So you don't have to think too much about it. You just have to, if someone collapses and they may survive because of this machine, you just grab the machine, stick the pads on,
follow the prompts,
and literally press the button.
Yeah.
And the machine from then on is going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Right? It will tell you if you need to do compressions, if you need to give a shock, to not touch the patient when you give a shock. Because many times and this is just for instance, but the person who collapsed could have had an arrhythmia, a funny rhythm in their heart that shock could solve.
Yeah.
So by pressing that button, letting the machine do its thing, give a shock, the patient could just come back to life, and you just saved a life, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't have to be a doctor. You didn't have to. As long as you know that the machine is there, you just have to stick the pads and turn it on. You could potentially be saving a life. So those are the knowledge. That's the kind of knowledge that I think it should be more readily available.
So I'm curious then, obviously this is the start of the process. Is there stuff on there, like what about after surgery? Is it just as much of a process, medication?
There's simulation in it that deals with extubation, because intubating is very important. It's also very important to know how to extubate, how to take that tube out, which sounds funny because we'll just take it out. But you have to make sure that the airway, meaning like the mouth, the throat, has the least amount of secretions possible, because let's say I just take the tube out waiting for the patient to wake up and it's full of junk.
Yeah.
That potentially can go into the lungs.
Yeah.
So you don't want that.
And what about medication? Are you waiting for a time limit on the initial medication, or are you then administering additional medication to wake them up?
That's a good question. So most of the drugs that we use, we time it in a way that by the end of the surgery, we don't have to reverse, meaning we don't have to give something to counteract.
Is it something that you overshoot? Like if you... a bunch of questions. How often are you administering more medication?
It's very dependent on what surgery and what's going on.
Is there any surgeries or how often? I guess how often or what percentage of procedures require like multiple doses of medication?
I would put two things there, like the length. There's surgeries that are way longer than others, and there's surgeries that are way more painful. Specifically talking about painful than others. It's not the same to have a 15-hour spine surgery that's going to be very, very painful, and I'm going to have to give a lot of medications to make sure that the patient is not in pain during surgery, which is important, even though they cannot be aware of it, and also after surgery, compared to a 30-minute appendix.
So just for like circumstance sake, that whatever, 10 mils of
fentanyl.
Like how long would that last for pain management?
It going into doses can be a little bit complex. So for example, we were exaggerating, and for the easiness of today, I was just like, give it all.
Yeah.
But let's say we were doing again an appendix.
Sure.
And you were to give what you were giving, what I was asking you to give was 250 micrograms.
Yeah,
that's a
they're
lot.
not going to feel anything for a
They're
week
not going to
after
feel
that.
that patient's not going to wake up.
Like they're
in a
going to
while.
die type of thing?
No. But you're going to be there waiting because they're going to be so narcoticized, meaning so full of narcotic.
Yeah.
And it's a potent drug. Then the more you give, the more it lasts. So for an appendix, and this is just to give you like an example rather than I'm not going to give you an opiates class, but for an appendix, we usually would give 100 micrograms of fentanyl, like way less than what we were giving.
Like 100 micrograms versus 200 milligrams, or those are still 250 micrograms?
Micrograms, yeah. So that's the other thing. Micrograms is a very small molecule. If you get what I'm saying, compared to propofol, for example, we're talking milligrams. It's a lot more drug. So you have to consider a lot of pharmacology terms, but how potent they are.
And is that your job?
That is my
mixing
job.
And prepping all of them. Do you personally say, hey, line me up this, or you hands
I
on?
do it. No, we do it. We do it. And one of my duties in an academic center like here, just like a surgeon probably would be like not letting his resident just operate and like here goes nothing.
Yeah.
At least not at the beginning. I have to make sure that whoever's with me is preparing things accordingly to what we're about to do.
Of course.
And kind of like guide them through that. And through experience and also through, of course, knowledge of studying what the correct doses for everything are, then that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
Do you give the dosages right away full, like the full amount, or do you keep on going back and forth?
No, we usually prep it. So for example, I know my patient, I know how much they weigh, I know their age, so kind of like I can calculate or estimate given that, and so I prep that. And so we have an anesthesia, kind of like anesthesia card, kind of like the one that was on the back. Something similar, ours is prettier, but we prep everything. And then once we start the case, then we bring everything that we think or we are pretty sure we're going to use and bring it over. But let's say, for example, that I dropped the syringe because it happens.
Yeah.
Then I just turn around and prep more.
Yeah.
Right? So I always have more available for me, just in case. But usually to not be wasteful, more so in a country like Canada in which we have a universal healthcare system, we don't want to waste things, right? I remember moving from Mexico, in which again the hospital was a private hospital, so no one cared. You would just open everything. In the end, insurance companies were paying for everything. Here is our money.
Even I mean, what's it called? Like, what's the dosages? Like I know what you said. Well, no, assume that person was going in for a surgery that was related to the dosages that we gave them. How what's the monetary value? Is it does it like or maybe a better question is like on average, I know it how much does it cost to
anesthesia itself can be costly, but most of the anesthetic agents, so for example, all the things that we were using today in your simulations, for the lack of a better term, they're quite old. So they are drugs that are not extremely novel. So they're not expensive.
But when you say not expensive, is it $100 or $1,000?
I would guesstimate just for what we use right now, maybe $300, $400.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and what can make it more expensive is if we have to use drugs that are really rare, that we don't do too often. And for example, here we don't even have access to them in that cart.
And what kind of circumstances would require
the only,
drugs?
For instance, that I can give you, and I'm not going to say brands, but there's a drug that is not so new anymore, but still has a patent. It's still patented. I think they just lost their patent here in Canada. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's called Sugammadex. We don't even have it here. But that rocuronium thing, the muscle relaxant that we were using for the intubation, usually, if in case of an emergency, if you have to reverse it, meaning if you have to unrelax a patient, that's not the appropriate term, but to make it more easy to understand, you can't. There's a way to relax it to reverse it that is very cheap, but if you gave a lot, you can't. It's a lot of pharmacology there that I'm not going to go into, but you can't. The cheap way, it just doesn't work. So you would have to be waiting for hours. So this company, I think they're from Europe, but created this drug, which is called Sugammadex, which is amazing because it's a molecule. It's a dextrose molecule. So it's like a sugar molecule that once you inject it to the patient, it specifically traps the rocuronium molecule and binds to it forever. Meaning that if I have to reverse someone urgently for whatever reason, I can just give Sugammadex and they're going to start moving within minutes, within seconds. Problem is, it's a newish drug, and it's a very expensive drug.
Yeah.
So what happened to me, for example, coming from Mexico, when Sugammadex came out, we were all using it because then it doesn't matter. I can give a lot of rocuronium, meaning the patient's never going to move, never going to cough, never going to anything.
And then whenever I'm ready to
and
be
when
done,
I'm done, I just give Sugammadex. It's expensive. I don't care. The insurance provider is going to pay for it. And then I moved to Canada, and we do have it, but we're smart about it. And we have to make sure that, because the hospital is going to flag you if you just start using Sugammadex, a very expensive drug, just because. You have to save it for emergencies, right? Because it's very expensive.
But is it that much more beneficial to just not, like, obviously the cost aside, is it that much more beneficial to do it the way you would have done it when that Sugammadex or whatever it was is readily available?
It's a good question because I thought about it a lot when I came here. It's like, oh, but this is way easier.
Yeah.
But the reality is, and now I've been here for a long time now, so I don't even think about it too much. But the reality is, if you do your craft well,
You don't need it.
you shouldn't need it, right? On the other hand, if there's an emergency, it's there.
But that's why it's there.
But it's going to bring my anesthetic from, I don't know, let's say a 13-hour surgery that probably just the cost of the drugs. We're not talking about what I
of
what
course.
I get paid, but just the drugs. Let's say it's $1,500, $2,000, and then I open 2 vials of Sugammadex.
Yeah,
that's $1,000 more.
Yeah,
just by doing that. So I've already just increased the price of my anesthetic by 50% by not planning.
So I know we don't have to get into the weeds about this, but is that particular one just readily available as in the States as it is in Mexico? Because it's not necessarily like...
That's a good question that I don't know the answer to. I want to believe that most hospitals do have it in the United States because you have private medicine there.
Yeah, that's why. But I'm sure at some point then they're still not... They're trying to minimize...
Yeah, because let's say you come from a private hospital, like a country that has private medicine, and you're paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
You're not going to like that.
Yeah,
in your
of course.
bill,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. True. Interesting.
What would be an emergency to get a patient out?
I'll give you the most classic about that one, for example. You're putting someone under, and then you realize that you just cannot intubate them. You just cannot put that tube into their windpipe.
What would be... Why?
Sometimes, and I hate to say it this way, but
Obese?
someone who's very obese, for example. Someone who's very, very obese, they tend to be harder. To ventilate, they tend to be harder.
And so what do you do? Do you go to the second one we did?
So you could go to the second one we did, but it's very likely, let's say it works. And this is a perfect scenario, actually. Let's say that we put that in and we can breathe. So the patient's not going to die. But without a tube, I cannot do the surgery that I'm planning to do. Right? For whatever reason. If it's laparoscopic, for example. So I know that if I take that out and try to intubate again, in this circumstance, it's probably not going to work. I already failed once. And if I do it again, I might put this patient under the life-threatening circumstances. We're like pilots. So if something's wrong with the airplane, you don't take off. You backtrack and like, how can we do this safer? So I need to wake up that patient. But let's say by then, I just gave rocuronium, the drug that I was telling you about. I cannot reverse it with the standard methods because I just gave it.
Is that something you prepare for ahead of time? Like, not to like, I mean, it is reality. If you have someone who's, we'll just go like morbidly obese, are you like, let's keep this, or it's always in the cart type of thing too?
It's
or like,
always available. Ideally, you shouldn't, because let's say I'm really scared about an airway. I'm really, really scared. I feel like if I put this patient under, I'm not going to be able to breathe for them. Then we have other methods.
Yeah. So what are those other methods?
It's something, for example, that's called an awake intubation. which pretty much means that compared to what you just did, just did together, we would have to topicalize the airway, meaning using a lot of local anesthetic with a spray and other things. And people do not like
what's
this.
What's the biggest difference in them being awake?
We would have to use an bronchoscope, which is kind of like a camera with a big cable.
Yeah.
And put that through your windpipe, through your mouth and your windpipe while you're awake.
Why versus because they can manipulate it?
Because then they're breathing on their own, so they're never going to stop breathing. Yeah. They're never going to start breathing oxygen that we're going to be supplementing with like oxygen delivery. And then once we go through the mouth, through the cords, which is awful because it's you've had things gone the wrong way to your windpipe.
Yeah.
And you're like coughing and it's like just very uncomfortable. We're doing that to you awake while we're putting a camera through your windpipe, and then we have to stick a tube through that camera. And once the tube is there, because we can see it with the camera, then we put you under.
Okay.
But
is there any other ways? Is there
that are as safe as that? No.
But is there a circumstance
so that's
where
kind of like the standard for like this is an impossible airway? We have to do it awake.
And then if you can always get it while they're awake, regardless of how bad
maybe
it
I
sucks for them.
can't because it can happen, right? Like there are some airways that are so impossible, like it's never happened to me, but it can happen. Then you would have to be like,
we can't do this.
I can do it.
You have to lose.
So let's say if it's a life of death or death kind of surgery, like okay, in that moment, we tried awake, it didn't work. Bring in the ENT surgeons or bring in the people, because I wouldn't do it. I don't do what we call surgical.
That's
airways.
what I'm waiting for.
That you were waiting for.
Cut the throat and put it in.
I cannot do a surgical
bypass
airway.
all that stuff and just go right.
So
no, pen's for lungs. This you wouldn't go pen to your neck, right?
You go here underneath the vocal cords in the cricoid cartilage, and they would do an incision through the skin, incision through the cartilage, and then put a endotracheal tube or a tracheotomy tube.
So is that something that
it doesn't happen very often?
But is that
that patient wouldn't be still awake?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, would be awake.
Yeah. Because they have to be breathing oxygen as this happening.
So, but you see, I mean, maybe
with local anesthesia, so they would be numbed.
Yeah, numbed. Okay.
You see people with those tubes out of their neck. Like if someone's needing to be intubated for a long time, like
that does happen.
Days or weeks,
months, weeks, months.
Then that's when they put it comes because they don't want to have something sticking out of their mouth for.
If you leave an endotracheal tube for too long, like
tube meaning through endotracheal,
mouth. I mean, if someone has to be intubated for a very long period of time, that's not good.
But because you have to be put under to have that in.
That's one, but also because that tube is rigid and that tube is going through too many structures. So eventually someone, I don't do ICU, but someone in the ICU is going to be like, hey, this patient, if we want to keep them under ventilation,
but be awake, or they still.
There's some people who could be awake. There's people sometimes in ICU who have a tooth like the way that they're awake.
Yeah,
but you cannot have it for too long. So eventually, if that's the case, then there's the potential of a surgical airway, which I don't do. Usually a surgeon does, but they come in and as they're breathing through the tube, they start approaching. And as soon as they're in the place where they can kind of like exchange it, they take that other tube out and they put the cannula in, and that becomes the way of breathing for those people for a while or until it's.
Like I know we're getting like into in a coma. Like if a person is a coma.
Yeah, that would be an example of it.
Okay.
Someone who has to be a medically induced coma for a very long time for whatever reason.
I know this is getting way kind of off track, but like lungs type of thing. Like if your lungs aren't working, is that then?
It depends on what you mean if they are not working. Because if your lungs are not working, then you don't need a tube.
It doesn't. The tube doesn't do anything anyways because your lungs aren't pumped.
Yeah, if your lungs are not working, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
And are there ways to bypass that temporarily? Yes, and this is going really way into it, and things that I don't do, but there's this thing that's called ECMO. So ECMO is an artificial lung, pretty much. But so that would be, but that has nothing to do with your lungs, rather than putting this cannulas in your big veins and arteries to pretty much function as your lungs. So that's way different. But yeah, there's ways to do that. That's very, very expensive. And by that time, you also have to question, like, what, and this is could be very controversial, so I'm just going to say this, but how much is too much?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Mm-hmm. But hey, now you know what it is to be me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, wow, shit, that was easy.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like you like.
I hope that the study goes well.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
We'll let you know.
it really does. I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
If there's any like kind of, you know, if breakthrough apps or whatever you get,
I can let you know.
we can
Let us
be.
know.
Yeah. It
awesome.
would always be my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to run now. But it was really fun.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you
was
so much
awesome,
for
yeah.
coming out.
It's my
This
pleasure.
was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you liked it.
That was awesome. Honestly.
yeah.
That was really cool.
For a second, I was like, oh.
I would literally stay here and just constantly
I'd be
do
like,
it. I want to beat it. I want to
100
beat
people in a
it.
row.
It
Like,
feels like a game, right?
yeah. Well, thanks for coming. That was
Thank
really
you
cool.
so much, Aldo.
Until next time. Thanks for listening. See ya.